Hi, I've got something you'll be interested in. Those performance upgrades we discussed after the last race. They're on the car and the data looks promising. Take a look at the details.
What's up guys, and welcome back to a brand new video and a brand new episode of my F1 2017 career mode, and we are here for round number 17 for the USA Grand Prix at the Circuit of the Americas. But first of all guys, if you did miss the last episode at Suzuka, then I highly urge you to go check it out before watching this video, because it was a really incredible race and definitely by far my most fierce battle with Kimi Räikkönen so far in these entire 4 seasons of career mode. So I do highly urge you to go check that one out in the card annotation in the top right hand corner of the screen, also in the link down below at the top of the description. But now focusing on this race weekend here at USA, and straight away going through the practice programs, trying to get the car up to scratch, really trying to get the car feeling good around this circuit. And I've got to say, from the last 3 seasons in the Force India, this is a track where I've struggled in the past, so I'm keeping that in mind when it comes to performing here this weekend. And obviously I've got that in the back of my mind, knowing that my pace may not be spectacular around this circuit. So keeping that in mind, obviously we're going to try our hardest to try and have a good result this weekend and try and push as hard as we can. But we've got to be realistic here. This is a very unique track, which in theory should suit our car, because this is a track built for Mercedes, but you just never know, especially with how OP Ferrari are in this particular career mode. But after Friday practice we had a few struggles, a few green scores, but eventually we would complete the Friday practice session, and we are going to put those R&D points towards an upgrade at the end of this episode, which you guys can go check out later on. But those are some good resource points in the bag, and an overall successful Friday practice session, trying to eke out, basically this is the last race weekend, full race weekend, that I will do with power unit number 3, which is pretty mad, to be fair. I think I'm going to manage to get all 4 units basically to last the entire season, which is pretty cool. But in Q1, you can see on screen right now, in the meantime, in the background, we've managed to get through comfortably into Q2 on the ultra soft tyres, 7th place, a pretty comfortable lap. And then in Q2 we actually opt for a slower compound, super soft compound tyre, and because I want to try and start the race on this tyre, as the one stop is definitely the more favoured strategy around here, and that's definitely what I'm looking for. So across the line we go 2nd place, but eventually though, after the session would improve in overall lap times, we would actually finish in 8th place and narrowly avoid getting knocked out in Q2 with a surprise elimination there. So luckily we got away with a bit of a shock result. But then in Q3 we are going to opt once again for the ultra soft tyres, and this is basically where you leave it all on the line for a ultimate lap around the Circuit of the Americas. So that's what we're going to do here, as straight away into turn 1, 100-meter board, down to 3rd gear, brake as late as you dare without locking up, and then it's critical you get good traction out of turn 1 as you go flat out through turn 2, and then we go into the beautiful S section. Basically be as daring as you want to be, because you got to hope the car sticks through here, and that's exactly what I had with my car. Good setup, the car was working beautifully for me, and we got fastest by 3/10 in the 1st sector. Now a very tricky couple of corners just there, the right and left over the hill, very tricky to lose the back end there, and then we go downhill, 50-meter ball down into the downhill sort of hairpin, and it's critical that you pick up a late apex here to focus on your exit speed and traction, as we now open up the DRS on the back straight. And basically now it's about a 10-second wait before you pick out the 100-meter board on the right hand side of your screen, and that's where you want to brake for this next hairpin. Sort of 3rd gear, pick up the apex, and a little short square on the power before you go into the next right-hander. And 3rd or 4th gear, you can sort of differ here on options. I prefer 4th, it gives me a better drive, but then sometimes with warm tyres, 3rd gives me better sort of entry speed. But then through the next double apex left-hander, just getting the gearing sorted out, because the gears can gain you or lose you a lot of time if you do use the wrong or right ones. But luckily I got it all hooked up perfectly, as we now go flat out through the inverted turn 8 at Turkey, and also a nice good momentum swing through the penultimate corner. And then finally the final corner, 3rd gear, critical you pick up the traction, open up the DRS and across the line, and it was a perfect lap, and that is going to give us pole position for the USA Grand Prix. A very good lap, and one that I was very happy with, and we hooked it up absolutely beautifully. Absolutely incredible lap. We get pole position ahead of Kimi Räikkönen and my teammate Lewis Hamilton, and then also Sebastian Vettel. So the first 2 rows locked out by the usual suspects, but what a lap that was. That was definitely the best lap of this entire season of career mode thus far. Really happy with that one, just hooked it up perfectly, and no mistakes, absolutely spot on. So we get a rare pole position for us, but that was the story of Saturday. We're now going to move into Sunday for the race for the USA Grand Prix. Right then, here we are on the grid at Kota, P1 after an incredible qualifying lap, and one that I was very happy with. And I did not see coming, to be honest. I didn't think I'd get pole around here because my pace has been good but not spectacular all weekend, and we managed to just pull a really good lap out of the bag right at the end of Q3. So very happy with that one, and definitely one of my best qualifyings of the season, if not the best. Just satisfaction of hooking up a lap perfectly. That was definitely right up there, but here on the grid, like I said, first place, a long, unique run into the first corner, all uphill obviously, and we could be under threat of getting overtaken left, right and centre by cars behind us, but overall the plan is to get a good start, hopefully keep our position, and that way go to turn one unscathed and try and dictate the pace of the race. And in terms of the race strategy for today, you can see that we have no rain expected, one-stop strategy onto soft compound tyres, and those will hopefully see us through until the end of the race. Also going for a little bit over on the fuel, about half a lap, just for precaution in case if I need to push. But obviously, we don't know what strategies people around us are on. I believe we're one of the few people on super soft, so that's going to make things very interesting. But without further ado, we're going to jump straight to the race now for round number 17 for the USA Grand Prix. Right then, here we go. We've got the disadvantage of slower tyres, but here we go. 5 red lights, and it's lights out and away we go for Kota, and it's a good launch off of the line from us here. Pretty damn good start. Raikkonen and also Vettel off to an absolute flyer in the other Ferrari. We're going to hold the inside line though and hold on to our lead as we go out of turn 1. Sebastian Vettel in second place. What a start from the German, and he's going to side by side with his teammate Kimi Raikkonen into the S section here, and we're going to lead the way on these super soft compound tyres, so we might be struggling for pace early on. I'm going to try and set some good lap times, but we might be on the back foot due to the tyres that we're on, so hopefully we can try and stretch out the pack, but I've got a feeling we might be on the back foot, obviously based off of our tyres, and Raikkonen is the man behind me, so he's going to try and make some moves as we go into the hairpin for the first time. Let's see what happens on this back straight as we get a good exit out of there, and we should be okay to stay in front on a straight line speed unless the Ferrari picks up the pace. My engine, my power unit is getting a bit worn now, to be fair. I'm on the yellow on a turbocharger, so that might be a little thing to keep in mind for later on in the race, but we're going to hold on to our lead, and we pretty much survived the first lap, so now it's a question of trying to settle into this race, set some good lap times, and try and stretch out the pack as much as we can. End of lap 2, DRS now enabled, and I'm trying to set the pace here, but the Ferraris are keeping up pretty damn easily. Luckily though, we are pulling away from the pack, so it's only the Ferraris so far that are keeping up. I don't think Lewis can actually keep up with my pace thus far. Obviously he is an ultra soft, so I'm guessing he'll probably find some pace eventually, but so far we're just trying to keep the 2 Ferraris behind. Okay, so far I'm controlling things, and Raikkonen and Vettel don't really have the straight line speed to match me, so so far I'm feeling pretty comfortable. The car feels really, really good on these tyres, and thus far I feel pretty much in control, so so far things are looking very, very encouraging. Okay, so Sebastian Vettel pits, so does Lewis Hamilton. Myself and Raikkonen stay out, obviously. I'm going to stay out for a little bit longer, but let's see how these 2-stoppers actually fare against me. I'm going to be on the 1-stop, so strategies are going to be very interesting now for the rest of this race, and so far I'm very much controlling it on these super soft tyres. They're working very nicely for me, so I want to try and stay on these for a little while, but at the same time I can notice that they're starting to let it go a little bit now, so we need to start weighing up the pit stop possibility. And now Kimi Raikkonen comes in, so I'm going to be running solo now for a few more laps. I reckon I'm going to pit around lap 12, so maybe 11, so we've got a couple more laps to go yet on these tyres before we can really do anything strategy wise. Okay, so interestingly enough, and those behind me have actually done a pit stop now, and they're coming for their stop, and the Vettel's in second place, but there's no sign of Kimi Raikkonen, so maybe something's happened to the Iceman in the transitional phase from the pit stop, so I'm going to come in at the end of this lap for softs, but it looks like I'm going to be battling Vettel this race and not Raikkonen. Something's happened to the Iceman, and that could be critical for the championship now. There's such few races to go. Here we go then, through the penultimate corner, and there is Kimi Raikkonen. Speak of the devil, he then appears, and he's on a different strategy on the ultra soft tyres. So compared to his teammate, he's gone more aggressive, and then obviously I'm going to guess he's going to run the super softs in the final stint, whereas Vettel on the other hand will run ultras in the final stint. So contrasting strategies at Mercedes, but either way we're going to now rejoin on a set of soft compound tyres. We'll be a little bit slower on these, I think, but the pace should still be okay, as Vettel chalks up a 35.9, fastest up by a country mile here, but let's see where we rejoin. Can we get ahead of Raikkonen? Because if we do, that would be incredible, and I think, yes we are, we're ahead of Kimi Raikkonen and only in second place, so we only lost that amount of time to Vettel, staying out another 4 more laps. It just goes to show our pace around it is actually pretty damn good. and the car is working absolutely beautifully around this circuit, and I'm actually loving it. This is the first time in the last 3 seasons of career mode, or 4 seasons now, that I can say this is the first time the car has felt incredible around this circuit, and such a good feeling to have. Well, I think Raikkonen might have a sniff here with DRS into turn 1. He's going to go to the inside. I'm going to go defensive slightly and not let him have the inside line. I'm going to cover the apex, and there we go. We're going to stay ahead of him just for now. Raikkonen showing his teeth for the first time this race, and obviously the difference in tyre compound becoming a huge difference with that, because obviously him on the ultra softs and me on the softs, there's 2 compounds difference, so he's going to have a little bit more grip than me, I think. Wow, okay, Raikkonen's had an incredible exit out of the hairpin, and he's going to be right on the back of me here. I'm going to go to the inside, and I'm going to try and squeeze him as much as I can, and make this move pretty complicated for him. He's going to run a little bit deep, hopefully, into the hairpin. He's going to actually swing out quite wide, to be fair, and not allow me to switch back. I'm going to go around the outside, then the inside for the next corner. Can we just keep our nose in there? Raikkonen's got the grip. Oh, big tank sapper on the rear end there. And Raikkonen's going to go for it. I'm going to go back up the inside of the next left-hander side by side, but Raikkonen just gets it with the extra grip on the ultra softs, and then he's going to slow down through here for some reason. I'm going to go back around his outside. Raikkonen's slowing down there for some reason. I don't know what happened, but I used the opportunity to go right around his outside and retake the position. And Raikkonen's, I think, yeah, he's going defensive, so the car behind is giving him some bother, and he's going to try and maybe defend from, I think, a full senior from what I can see. Yeah, Sergio Perez. But here he comes again, DRS wide open. I'm going to go to the inside to turn 1, cover my position, and I'm going to let him have the inside line. I'm going to try and go around the outside of the first corner. He's going to just close the door. I'm stuck on the curb. Big moment there, and now I've got a full senior behind me, but Raikkonen just gets the measure of me and gets past. So Raikkonen up into second, but he is going to have to stop again this race. So we can relax and know that we're going to the end. We can't lose too much time to Vettel, who's up the road, because he will be on ultra softs at the end. So it's important now that we focus and get a move on with our pace and push, because if we get too distracted with the battling, we're going to lose a position to possibly Sebastian Vettel. So let's push now and try and concentrate on this tyre. Okay, Kimi's just peeled off into the pit lane. Meanwhile, Perez is actually giving me the hurry up here. He's matching me for pace, and I can't shake him off. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into rich mix and try and push hard now. Raikkonen's come in, so he's a reference point. So we've got to really push hard now and make these laps count. So we're going to have 1 or 2, maybe 3 laps in rich mix to try and really set some competitive lap times to shake off Perez and also extend our lead over Raikkonen. Right, Vettel in the pit lane going for soft compound tyres. Very interesting strategy there from Ferrari. I could have sworn he would have gone at least a softer compound than that. So that's blown it wide open now, and also Perez still keeping up with me here. We know Perez, I mean, he won at Malaysia and he's won a few races this season. He's got good pace in that car, so he might be a threat for the rest of the race, to be honest, as I can't shake him off even in rich mix, and I'm setting personal bests here. So oh no, big mistake, pushing too hard. I'm gonna have to let Perez through there. Big mistake, that one, just pushing too hard. I'm trying to get rid of Perez, and it's costing me it's basically not working for me. I'm pushing too hard and I'm actually losing time, so not ideal. But Perez takes the lead of the race on the soft compound tyres. The question is he going to the end on those, and if so, will his pace remain as strong as it is? That is a ridiculous lap time, a 1:34.5 from Kimi Raikkonen. That is nuts. I don't know what tyre he's on. I'm going to guess it's probably super soft, but she's really quick. I mean, I'm going to try and get past Perez here, but this tyre definitely isn't as good as the super soft. I'll give you that for a fact. Doesn't feel nowhere near as good. The car's not working as nice, but I think we've got the pace to get past Perez here, so I've got to stay calm, stay patient, not get too concerned, and we'll make the move hopefully. Okay, I think I'm definitely close enough to make the move on Perez now, and his pace has just dropped off a little bit in the last couple of laps. Since he's overtaken me, his pace has just dropped off, so we've got a chance to get past. So I'm going to crank up to rich mix and try and make the move. He's had a pretty good exit, to be fair, and good traction out of the exit of the hairpin, but we're going to open up the DRS, use the rich mix. Can we get close enough to him? Not quite, so Perez is going to stay ahead of a little bit longer, but I think the move is going to come because we've got a little bit more pace than him. So, VSC, Felipe Massa out of the race, so that's going to allow us to save a little bit of fuel, so we can obviously use that later on and push, but that's going to also deny us of our opportunity of overtaking Perez into turn 1, which is what I was looking for, so frustrating. Okay, the VSC is done, so we're going to go up to rich mix here and try and set ourselves up for the move on Perez once again. This time, try and get a better exit out the hairpin, which I haven't done. I just can't get the exit out of there. First signs that the tyres might be fading away, which is very frustrating, so we'll have to try and get maybe elsewhere I think into turn 1 is going to be the one. I think that's where we're close enough. Right, this time out of the hairpin, I'm much closer to Perez. A much better exit. I'm already in rich mix. This is going to be the one here where we try and make the move on the Mexican. So here we go. We're going to try and make the move. Perez pulls to the inside. I'm going to go even more, though, to the left-hand side and then try and brake a little bit early here and get the move on the brakes. A little bit of contact between the pair of us here, but we've made the move and we're up into the lead of the race and retaken first place in this United States Grand Prix. So now it's a question of holding this position until the end of the race. I'm going to use up my rich mix that I've got left and try and pull away from the cars behind that are catching up, and Raikkonen is in that pack of cars, so it's time to get the hammer down. Okay, Raikkonen's overtaken Ricciardo and he's into third place now. Perez is in second still. I can't shake him off and I've run out of rich mix. I've got a healthy gap to him, but now Raikkonen's going to be on the hunt, so this is going to get very, very intense. Raikkonen has got past Sergio Perez in the hairpin, so Raikkonen really pushing hard on those super soft compound tyres. We've got to really try and find the limit now of our pace to stay ahead of the Iceman. Okay, here comes Raikkonen. He's got DRS wide open on the back straight. I'm in rich mix to try and defend, but I am marginal for fuel with one more lap to go here, so we've got to be very careful with our fuel consumption. But Raikkonen is right there and he is a major threat to this race. Right, here comes Raikkonen, DRS wide open on the last lap. I'm marginal for fuel, so I can't defend. So here we go into the first corner. Can I go around the outside, locking up on the left front? Raikkonen's still there. Contact, he's tagged me. Raikkonen sent me for a spin right in the last second. Not ideal here. I'm trying to turn the car around, trying to panic, try and get the car facing the right direction. Grosjean out of the USA Grand Prix. Let's try and get up to speed here. We've got Hamilton and Verstappen there, so we're 7th place right now, but Raikkonen has tagged me on the last lap. I don't know about that. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's got to get a penalty or something for that. I mean, he just completely tagged me around. I've got to watch that back, but Raikkonen there might have just, you know, really elevated his chances at the World Drivers' Championship because of that. Oh, damn it. I don't know why he did that thing. I mean, I was on the outside. I'm convinced I left him in the room, so I have to watch the back on a replay. Right, here we go then. Through the penultimate corner, Raikkonen wins at USA, and we're going to come home in 7th place, but the stewards are going to have something to say about that one. I mean, that was very dodgy. We got 6th place in the end, so I think Verstappen might have had a penalty because Hamilton overtook him as well across the line, so that's a small little consolation, but I want to see where what happened with Raikkonen. Did he get a penalty or not? Because if he didn't, then I'm not going to be happy. That's not it's not ideal, and that's not how you race. So I want to wait and see what the decision is. But it does look like Raikkonen has been given the race win, and yet there you go, he's won. So that is very, very annoying, very frustrating, and he's done a lot of damage in the championship after that. That's not good. That's not good at all. I think. I don't know what the maths is, but that gap's come down a hell of a lot with 3 more races to go now, and Raikkonen could be back in it thanks to that. Controversy at Cody, you could say, because I thought I left him enough room. I really want to watch the replay back. I know you guys would have seen it in the video by now, but I want to watch that replay back because I'm pretty sure I left him plenty of room. So I feel like he intentionally tried to take me out there. So not happy one bit. Right, so I've watched the replay back. Raikkonen was totally to blame for me, in my opinion. I don't know why he didn't get a single penalty for it, but either way, Ferrari 1-2. Raikkonen wins ahead of Perez in 3rd, and then Ricciardo P4, then Mercedes in 5th and 6th. Disappointing race for us as a constructor, really, as Ferrari bagger 1-2. That's going to be a massive dent in the constructors, and then Verstappen in 7th ahead of Ocon, and Hulkenberg and Kvyat round out the top 10. Verstappen indeed did have a penalty, and then 3 retirements in the form of Massa, Magnussen and Grosjean. But then in terms of the driver standings after that race, Raikkonen 18 points behind with 3 races to go. Basically, mathematically speaking, if Raikkonen wins every race and I come home in 2nd place in every race, Raikkonen can win. So that's very doable for him. So we've got our work cut out to really win this championship. Raikkonen is he's really put himself in the mix after that race, after doing what he's had to do. So officially now Hamilton is out of the running, so it's between myself and Kimi for the 2nd season running. And in terms of the constructors, Ferrari now get the gap back down to 32 points. So both championships seem to be back on the cards for Ferrari after that one, so I think they'll be pretty happy with the work they've done. But we're now going to move into the laptop and see if we purchase any possible upgrade. To make things worse, after that weekend, Raikkonen has actually won the driver rivalry, and my driver slider has gone down to green, which isn't ideal. But if we jump into the upgrade screen now, we've only got 910 points to work with, So in order to get an upgrade on the car as soon as possible, it's probably going to have to be an engine. So we're just going to go straight into the engine department and buy the pistons, which is this one here, and get that on the car for the next race, which is Mexico, which is a power circuit. Get that on the car straight away and really pull away from Ferrari in the engine power department. So hopefully that upgrade will arrive for the next race in Mexico. But other than that, guys, a massive thank you for watching this video, and if you did enjoy it, then please do leave a like on the video. Also subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and also please do check out the videos on screen right now, and also check out GTA Mega in the links down below in the description. But thanks a lot for watching, guys. Let's see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.